Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time of day it is if you're watching this on demand. We are live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. My name is Graham D, and this man is the man that we call Baby. That's how he speaks, by the way. He does. I need a voice filter so that I can make you sound like that all the time. Hello, welcome. My name is Graham. This is Baby. But anyway, good morning. How is everyone on the second week of imposed UK isolation and more around the world? If you are watching or listening from around the world, then please feel free to jump into the chat, jump into the comments. Just send us a message on Twitter if you're listening to one of the audio podcasts. Feel free to do that. But anyway, like I said, my name is Graham David. This is Bibby, and we are Ice Cream. Well, we're a part of the team that is Ice Cream, and this is The Scoop. We bring you our thoughts and impressions of the biggest and best breaking stories, and we want your thoughts and impressions in return on our thoughts and impressions. That's the thing. That's how it works. And like I said, we go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. So if you are in the chat, please feel free to drop a message. It's just down the side of the screen there. Feel free to say hello, drop in. I mean, if you're a subscriber, you get access to our exclusive emotes, and one of them, it says that for you. You don't even have to type the word. And do you know what? If you press it and type it in, it generates a machine that we call Bibby. And there's a little emote. Actually, watch this. I'm going to type an emote in and watch what happens to Bibby. Press that one, send, and then...
Hello.
There we go. That happens every time. It doesn't really. It's not a machine. That's actually Bibby. Oh, you knew. Oh, okay, I'll move on then. Anyway, it's important that you do get involved in the chat there because, as I said, we turn this into a YouTube video and then into an audio podcast a little bit later on in the day. The YouTube video goes on YouTube about an hour after we go off air, and the audio podcast, which goes out on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, and Google Play, goes out a little bit later in the day. So if you're in the chat, you get to impact the content that goes out on those channels. And if you're watching or listening on those channels, then good morning, evening, good night, whatever time of the day it is. Hi! Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below if you're on YouTube. Obviously, we won't see it live, but we can talk about it in the next show if it's something that pops. So make sure you do that and hit the like button as well. Anyway, good weekend, babe.
Yes, it was actually. I mean, I'm still in the same four walls that I... 1 second, because it looks like the stream's gone offline.
It's still online for me.
Oh, on the stream preview on mine, the bitrate's 0 and it says offline.
Okay. My bitrate looks healthy and it's still online for me. Let me just I'm gonna let's open up Task Manager, make sure nothing's eating all my bandwidth.
I'm just gonna get. I mean, this is obviously why you listen to the show live, and to be able to see this.
It all still looks good for me. So
all right.
Just going to assume. David says I'm on for him. Good morning, David. Jeroen says, can confirm I'm watching. Danielle Day says, what does she say, babe?
Hello.
There we go. Yeah. Okay. All looks good. All looks good.
I'm looking at my phone. All right. So the content back at the back is a bit shit, but yeah, good weekend. Literally still in the same four walls that I began last week with. So yeah, I mean, I went outside to put something in the bin. That's as far as I've got, really. Right, yours?
I'm failing at multitasking because I'm just typing in the discussing now for our first piece of news, which we'll jump onto shortly. But we didn't do too much, obviously, because, coronavirus. But we did get out a little bit. We went for a bit of a mooch on Saturday. I'm trying to remember, my days are merging into one. Yesterday we definitely went for a mooch. We went the idea was, and for those of you that are experts in the world of crisps or chips, if you're American, crisps and crunchy snacks, we wanted onion rings. So the crisps, not the actual food. And we wanted onion rings, and we have a Tesco nearby, which has crap onion rings. Let's be straight to the fact. Tesco onion rings are crap.
So does.
Yeah. Golden Wonder onion rings, also crap. Co-op, world-class onion rings. And there's a co-op like I don't know the distance, about a mile-ish down the road. It's just a straight road. So it's a nice comfy walk for the day out. Anyway, so me, Danielle, Chloe walked to Co-op went into the co-op, and the crisp aisles had absolutely been raided because it's more like a convenience store, so they don't have shitloads of stock anyway. Nothing there. So the Sainsbury's nearby, so Sainsbury's have really good. I mean, it's not quite co-op level, but they are quite good. So we walked from co-op to Sainsbury's, secured the onion rings, mission successful, and then came home. That followed Saturday, where took the car for an MOT. And if you're in the UK right now, and if your car is due an MOT soon, don't worry about it, because you get 6 months from today. You get 6 months grace period where your car doesn't need to be MOT'd. If it's due, it's fine. Your job's good. However, my car MOT expired 10 days ago, so I had to get my car booked in. So on Saturday, I took my car to the garage. Shout out to Halfords, by the way, who I was asking last week why everyone was trying to boycott them. They did me a good job. They were still open. My car could run. Job's good. Anyway, took the car to Halfords. Had to put the bike in the boot, and I haven't used my bike properly for ages. So took the car in, took the bike out of the boot, put the wheel back on. I took the wheel off to get the boot. And then jumped on the bike, and there was basically a little bit of an uphill, and then a downhill, and then an uphill. That's my journey to get home from the garage. So I did that, and it was probably about 15 minutes, but my my thighs were just like on fire because I could feel, yeah, exactly, the uphill, like, So yeah, went out for that. Went out for onion rings, and that was kind of the weekend in terms of my outdoor exploits. And then it was just a little bit of PUBG, and then just some other mediocre game really for the weekend.
The greatest game of last year, anyway. That didn't win any awards, so it's absolutely disappointing.
The not game of the year. Yeah, I started. For those of you that may have seen this before, Bibby is kind of a little bit au fait with the world of Resident Evil. Let's just put it that way. He's a mega fan. And I've had his Resident Evil 2 for about a month now, and I finally started playing it yesterday. So me and Danny Day83 in the chat, we sat down last night to start our playthrough of Resident Evil 2, and we turned it on. Gatekeeper, good morning. Good morning, Gatekeeper, TTV. If you're on Twitch, check out the Gatekeeper TV, by the way. That's Gatekeeper. But thank you very much for the 11-month subscription. Very, very much appreciated, dude. Hope you're doing very well.
Cheers, Craig.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, we started our playthrough. I think we put it on about 7ish, something like that. And then we got to like midnight, so that's 5 hours. So
yeah,
good.
So you're probably like halfway through Leon's first campaign, ish. I think overall it took me like 8 hours to do Leon's and then 8 hours to do Claire's.
Yeah, you knew what you were doing though.
I didn't. Well, not really. I mean, it is a remaster of an old game, but that game is completely different from the one that came out in like '97 in terms of where you need to go and things like that.
I mean more in terms of the world of Resident Evil, in terms of what to look out for. So there was things like, there was a code for a locker which was written on a wall, which I would have completely missed. So I don't know what I'm looking out for as such, unless it's like, hey, stupid, look at this. Like, there was a key sellotaped to a whiteboard. Would not have seen that either. Danielle was like, there's a key there. I was like, where? It's like, there's a key on a wall with a big red arrow pointing at it. And I was like, oh, it just looked like background to me. So... And then there's a lot of things where I'm running backwards and forwards, and I'm missing something ridiculously obvious, like having an item in my possession and then not examining it to take it out of its packaging and things like that. I won't say too much just in case people haven't played through it, but stuff like that, where I'm running, going one end of the precinct to the other one, or in the underground car parky things from one end to the other, thinking, why can't I figure it out? And then, yeah, I say I figured it out. Danielle pretty much figured every single bit that needed to be figured out. So GG's bit, thanks, nice.
Well, yes. Out on Friday.
Liking it so far. My issue with it so far is Mr. X. Well, I have two issues with Mr. X. One, he scared the shit out of me. Twat. I won't give anything. It's terrifying when you see him and the music changes and it's like ah. And I thought I was telling Bib just before we came in here, when you go into like the save stations. Having never played Resident Evil, I thought it was Precision. OP3. Precision was in the chat on our stream about a month ago when me and Bib were doing that Fortnite night on Friday when I had burgers and shit. And Precision was talking about apparently you can get you in save rooms. I was like, I don't know what this means. And it's only afterwards I was going through and reading through. When you're in the save rooms, you're safe, you can't get done. So I took that into this thinking, oh, that's fine. Didn't realise that one of the main points where you can save the game isn't classed as a save room, it's just a save point. So I'm stood there thinking, he's coming, it's fine, I can save it here. And then he just bursts through the door into this room. I won't give any... I was like, So that was my first issue. Fuck you, get away, you big scary shit. My second issue is he's been around for about 15-20 minutes, maybe half an hour-ish now, and all I'm doing is running away and hiding, and then coming back and he's there and running away and hiding. So he's kind of just becoming an annoyance now. So it's the point where he's been there too much, so he's lost his impact, and it's like, oh, just go away.
Yeah. That kind of element to it is kind of stealthy, shall I say, because you're trying to obviously avoid him, because like a couple of hits from him, you're probably going to die. But it depends how generous you've been with your ammo. Like, are you killing every zombie that you come up against? Are you trying to avoid them?
Well, I was killing absolutely everything. Didn't realise that I'd have to be conserving my ammo, to the point where I was running around yesterday with no shotgun shells, no pistol ammo, and just going, to the point where now I've used almost all of my health resources as well, because every time I'm trying to sneak past something. And the knife, can you not just like stab stuff to keep it away from you?
Yeah, so the best thing to do is, if you've got a giant room, if there's zombies in a massive room, obviously avoid them ones until you know you've got ammo to be able to use. If you're in a narrow corridor, shoot them in the kneecaps so they fall to the floor, quickly change to the knife, and then stab one when they was on the floor. That's the best way of getting rid of them, because you may only use 2 bullets to take them down, but just keep on knifing them while they're on the floor. Also, you can use the knife to take them on the legs, but that's super risky, because 9 times out of 10 you are gonna take a bite.
Yeah, that's what I keep doing. I keep going, ha! And then, like I'm got a full-on Steve-O in it, like crocodile, and I'm going to stick a knife in this little bitch, and then it's like, just like straight into my neck. And then that keeps getting me into the mindset of, quickly, stab the knife into it to get it off you. I go, bah! And then something else grabs me, and I'm thinking, quickly, stab the knife! And then I end up sticking a grenade in its face. I was like, no! So I've used all of my grenades, all of my stun grenades.
If they're like 2 foot away from you, they will do like a lunge towards you to grab you, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, if you've got a generous amount of ammo, then I'd shoot them in the kneecap, wait for them to fall on the floor, and then go and knife them as fast as you can. But if there is a massive room, then I'd avoid any kind of contact with them and just leave them there, because they ain't going anywhere. I mean, when you do kill them, they do disappear. They don't come back. So you've got that nice element of being able to run around the RPD without them actually showing up to come and haunt you. Because there is a couple of cheap bites in that is kind of annoying. So zombies could be on the other side of the door, but you don't know they're on the other side of the door until you break through the door. So as soon as you go through, they'll jump on you, which is a bit annoying. You
just have to take the bite without doing anything. I kind of had a bit like that. I remember you mentioning that when you were playing through it, when I came down and scared the shit out of you, sat next to you in the studio. But there was a bit like that was kind of unavoidable. There's a room, is it called the Watcher's Room or whatever, where there's that shutter where the guy gets... it gives you the little book. I won't say anything other than that. Anyway, trying to get out of that room, there was 2 zombies on the other side of the door, and they were just there. And I couldn't get out of the door because they were there, and they couldn't get in the room for some strange reason. So I had to kind of like nudge the door open to try and let one in or to whatever, so I could take it out in the room. And in the end, I just had to like push the door far enough that one of them grabbed hold of me and just bit me. And it was like, I knew you were there, I could see you were there, but I couldn't do anything about that.
Yeah, the cheap bites are proper annoying, but it is what it is. You kind of that never happened in any other Resident Evil. The cheap bites, because usually on the old ones, for instance, when you walked towards the door to go through it, you'd have a loading screen where the door would open. So when the door closed behind you, the room would then generate. However, with this one, because you're walking through a door, it's just continuous instant loading. That you haven't really got the option to be able to avoid them. But yeah, I think you only got like 3 or 4 cheap bites out of all of it, which I was more than happy with, because I had the herbs to be able to get me through that part. But yeah, if you've been taking it slowly, like you say that you think you are, I'd probably say that you probably got like 10 hours left with Leon. But where he was telling me he was up to last night was probably 3/8 of the way through it, maybe.
Interesting. Almost halfway through. Okay, that's all right. I mean, I've got absolutely no medical resources left, and I'm pretty much scraping the bottom of the barrel with weapons. So yeah, apart from that, yeah, Job's good. Yeah, nice.
It does make you think about where you're going to use your ammo though. So like I said, if there is a big room where he's got one or two zombies that are on the left or the right hand side, or you think you can go through the middle without getting bit, I would highly suggest doing that. Or if you've got a generous amount of ammo, shoot them in the knees and then run past them. Eventually, if you carry on shooting them in the knees, they will just die. Like if you was to go back through the same room 4 or 5 times, if you take the 2 shots in both the kneecaps, they'll fall to the floor. Eventually, they'll either just be crawling around on the floor so you can shoot them in the head easier or what. But just conserve as much ammo as you can.
Yeah, too late. It's all gone. It's all gone. Okay, I'll start doing that from now. I mean, the only thing with the skipping past them, which I think probably adds to the Mr. Xness, is if you're walking around and you hear these do steps, you think, shit, got to run, he see me. You forget which room has live zombies in, so you're legging it through a door. It's like, ah! It's like, ah! Ah!
I've just seen Craig's comment there saying he was a bit disappointed at how short the Resident Evil 3 demo was. I prefer the limited time demo like Resident Evil 2, finished it in under 10 minutes. I'm not disappointed with it because that is a part of the game. Like what we played through in the demo was a part of the new game. So the more that they open up in the demo, the more that the storyline's going to get ruined. And I think I can't really spoil it because the demo has been absolutely everywhere and it's free to play for everyone. So at the end of the demo, you put the fire out and then Nemesis comes through the wall. And that's the end of the demo then. And that for me is the perfect way to finish it because you don't get to have the big interaction with Nemesis. Obviously, when he first arrives and you see him turn that guy's head into an insect, that's the main scaring part, and then you have to do your best to try and avoid him. But there's 20 bobbleheads to find in that, and there's also other ways that people have been trying to beat it the fastest. So I think someone's managed to beat it in like 1 minute 45 seconds. People have just done only knife finishes, so they don't have to use the guns or anything like that. But there's still loads of stuff to do. It's finding the 20 bobbleheads is a nightmare. I've only found 15, but apparently the other 5 only turn up when Nemesis arrives. So you have to try and navigate you have to try and navigate around Raccoon City while he's knocking about to be able to try and find the other 6 bobbleheads. But so yeah, there is a lot to do in it. But I feel like it took me half an hour or 35 minutes, I think, the first time around because I was literally just looking at everything there was to look at in that demo. But I think it's for me, it's a perfect amount of time around it because I don't want them to go too much into how the story is going to pan out. Because if it's anything like the second one, that wasn't a complete remake of the original one because the storylines and the plot changed slightly in this one. So I don't want to see too much of this. I got used to the mechanics again. We put the dodge mechanic in there to try and avoid the cheap bites like you mentioned there, Craig. For me, it's just a lot more of the second one. We're just getting a lot more Raccoon City, which is good for me because I actually want to explore Raccoon City a little bit more.
Yeah, so the dodge mechanic. So that wasn't obviously in the first one. So the knives and stuff as well in Resident Evil 3, do they break like they do in number 2?
Pass, don't know yet.
Interesting, because I didn't seem to see any of that sort of like health gauge on the knives when you were playing through the demo. Or not that I can remember, but then again, I've not played it before, so I didn't know what to look out for. Whereas yesterday when I was playing through, I was like, oh shit, my knives break.
Well, I was using my knife a lot in the third one. Like I was shooting them in the kneecaps, and then basically doing the same thing I was doing in the second one. Yeah, and then just stabbing him while I was on the floor. My knife didn't break or anything, so yeah, it should be fine.
Okay. Just annoying that I know all this now. I could have been walking around like Arnold Schwarzenegger, full of ammo and health and everything. But anyway, let's move into the news. Obviously, for those of you that have been checking out our social media, Ice Cream Uploads across the board, by the way, at Ice Cream Uploads on Twitter, we tweeted out, as we do every single day when we go live, that we have one headline story. We actually have 5 stories, but the headline story of today is that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's campaign has been remastered and could potentially be releasing today. Let me bring the article up on screen for you now. This is written by Sherif Saed for VG247. And the article says, according to a noted Call of Duty leaker, Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered is coming out today. Last week's Call of Duty Modern Warfare update stoked the Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered rumours once again, thanks to the addition of certain files that point to an imminent release or a reveal at the very least. Banners and updated cover art likely intended to go live alongside an in-game ad were added with the patch. Now, noted leaker at Okami13 is saying the remaster is actually releasing today. Okami13 actually shared the supposed March 30th release date on Wednesday, days before the Modern Warfare patch containing those files was released. Then, when asked whether they're certain about it, Okami13 replied that they're 99.999999999% sure. And then there's an embedded tweet from Okami saying, "Me praying campaign actually releases tomorrow, so I don't look stupid." Okami has previously claimed that Modern Warfare 2 Remastered would release this year and include multiplayer, but is now saying that multiplayer maps would be instead added to Modern Warfare's map roster. Okami 13 has a good track record when it comes to Call of Duty leaks, having quietly revealed dates and other details ahead of time, which ended up being accurate. That said, it's worth taking this one with a grain of salt. Do you know what? There's so much salt being thrown around in news articles at the moment. Everyone's talking pinch of salt, grains of salt. So anyway, despite the file strongly suggesting an imminent release, it's possible we'd be getting some sort of announcement today with an actual release coming later. A remaster of Modern Warfare 2 seems like a big enough deal that Activision would want to hype up its launch for a while.
I'm torn on this one. It's either I've read this article 3 times now, and I'm still not sure. And now this could just be me being thick, but is this going to be a brand new game that's coming out, or is it going to be a patch on the Modern Warfare that we've got?
So where was the paragraph? There was one that kind of said it. Okami has previously claimed that Modern Warfare 2 Remaster would release this year and include multiplayer. So that's Okami saying that it would be a standalone game, but is now saying that multiplayer maps would instead be added to Modern Warfare's map roster. So Okami originally said standalone, but now says it'll be within Modern Warfare itself.
You see, I understand that bit, but where would the campaign go in?
Is there a campaign?
That's where. Yeah, because it says in the second paragraph, it says last week Call of Duty Modern Warfare update stoked the Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered rumors once again. Now that's where it's fallen down for me, because I understand the multiplayer bit, because we've had a million different types of map injections into any of the Call of Duty games. We've seen the same maps recycled in many games down the line. So the multiplayer stuff, I understand that's inevitable, that we're going to see some Modern Warfare 2 maps in the Modern Warfare game. However, where the hell would the campaign sit? Is this gonna be injected into the Modern Warfare game that we've got now as Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, or are we just going to get like we did with Modern Warfare, the original one with COD 4? Where it was part of Call of Duty Infinite, was it, or something like that?
You're eating digestives. I'm not. Don't say I am.
But I don't understand where it sits. Like,
I would see.
Is it going to be another tab?
So in Modern Warfare, I'm assuming there is like multiplayer and campaign tabs. I'm assuming then when you click on campaign, it'll probably have like a sub tab or something, that rather than saying main campaign, it'll be like Modern Warfare 2 campaign or something like that.
Well, you see, that's what I was thinking, but I mean, unless this game is going to be full price, or the expansion is going to be full price, it doesn't feel very Activision, because they, like it said at the end of the article, would want to try and build up to this and make as much money off that IP as possible. Shadow dropping it, I don't think is a very Activision thing to do.
No. Yeah, I reckon that was a fit chocolate digestive, by the way. I reckon it will be more like, where was the wording? It's possible we're getting some sort of announcement today with an actual release coming later. So how we're discussing now, so it says Modern Warfare 2 campaign coming today.
Oh, bless me.
Bless you. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze now. You've done that.
Oh God.
You've like infected me through the medium.
I've been waiting for that. It's like I keep on looking at the ceiling, waiting for it to eventually arrive.
Look at a light. Stare at your light, and then it just brings it out like. Yeah. But yes, I think that is probably more likely with everything considered. So obviously, discussing now says campaigns coming today, because that was the initial thoughts shared by Okami 13. However, yeah, as you just said, a shadow drop like that of something so big. I still remember. I've got like sound bites embedded in my mind where I can just hear someone shout "intervention," okay. And it's just like I don't even know if that's even in the game or if that's just what my mates shouted at me or whatever. It's not even in the game. I think that's a fucking Finding Nemo sound effect or something that's embedded in. But obviously the invention class sniper rifle in Modern Warfare. So yeah. Anyway, it's such a huge, long-standing and very highly regarded game for the community. For them to just drop it out of nowhere, like, boop, there you go, additional stuff now, just seems a bit crazy.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
I think having. Thank you very much for the host, Pirate. Good morning. Good morning. I think having the build up to. I mean, I have played a few days of. A few games of Modern Warfare, not too many, probably about 5 or 6 in total, and I think is it the season pass, the battle pass? What do they call it in
Modern Warfare?
Yeah,
it's a battle pass.
So the battle pass is close to expiring and it's close to running out or something like that.
Yeah, I think when we went on it last week, there was like 12 days left.
So yeah, probably a week left. I imagine that announcement, if it does happen today, I mean, call me if I'm wrong, if that's the case, if it's so close to a new battle pass, I reckon it would be heavily linked to that from a promotional call to action marketing standpoint, as in it's all coming out now and either get it with the battle pass or get the full game or something that inspires people to stick in the game. You get some bits for free, I reckon, but then for the full host. So I'm trying to remember what maps were on Modern Warfare 2. I can't remember any of them by name. I always remember the Modern Warfare ones. Anyway, so you'll get...
Terminal was on it, wasn't it? Or was that the original Modern Warfare?
Terminal was on it, yeah. Terminal was on it. Underpass or whatever it was called. But yeah, so let's use those. Let's say you get Underpass in the full game, but you can get Terminal by getting the Battle Pass or something like that. Or no, Terminal, because it's not going to be Battle Royale. I'm not sure.
What? Was it the did we see a trailer for this Warzone and it's shown Terminal?
The Terminal's in the Warzone. That's what I just thought about it. That in Warzone, because when you're walking through the airport in Warzone, it's built on Terminal. So there's that bit where you've got like the boarding ramp or whatever you call it to get onto the plane kind of thing. That whole sort of area's been mapped up and is within the game. Okay. I don't know the game well enough to know what the potential crossover for retail call to actions is, but I reckon there will be something in there. If there's something scheduled in for today, they may have been aiming to go live today, or it could just be the coding that's in there allows them to turn on a promotional banner in the game or whatever. That I'd say that is more likely that the messaging would go out today rather than the actual gameplay itself. But you know, it's only 8 minutes to 11. Tell me in 2 hours' time we could be always sat here playing like Underpass and whatever on repeat. Yeah. So yeah, let me know. But that's where I would put my hat. I'd hang my hat on the announcement today with the content to come on the end of the Battle Pass or whenever that update is. That's my thoughts.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen, if I'm being honest. Yeah, a week doesn't feel long enough for this to be built up. If the Battle Pass ends in a week's time, it doesn't feel long enough to give this game the justice that it deserves in regards to it arriving as a DLC element. It just seems a bit too far-fetched that they're going to bundle campaigns into one game when they know full well that you can get a fully fledged £45 to £50 game in 6 months' time. I don't know why it doesn't sit right with me. I feel like Activision have never done this kind of thing before, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but they know that they can get full price for this game in 6 months' time if they was to announce it. If they was to try and bundle this in as a new tab or in this Modern Warfare, it doesn't feel right.
Well, it only mentions the campaign, and the majority of people overwhelmingly never even play the campaigns, which is bizarre. Although that probably comes off the back of everything after Modern Warfare 2 campaign-wise being just crap repeats and trying the same things over and press F to pay respects. Obviously, that was from that game, but like we need to jump into an AC-130 or something else shooting from the sky. Oh, we need to have a slow motion shot from on the floor and stuff like that. They just redoing the same ideas but with different skins. Oh, let's put Kevin Spacey's face on it and that'll change it all completely or something like that. However, I'm kind of thinking from the mindset of, was it Advanced or Infinite Warfare? The same game, crap. But one of them came with Modern Warfare Remastered. I know I played Modern Warfare Remastered to the point where I fully golded out all my sniper weapons again. But did I finish the story? Did I even start the story? And I may have started it. Thought, well, this is crap, and turned it off. But that game, they got hate. They got absolute hate because there was a couple of things. There was look, we're flying in space and exosuits and wall running, double jumping and stuff. And people was like, that's not what we want in Call of Duty. So there was obviously shitloads of negativity. But the fact that they put Modern Warfare Remastered as this thing that you want, and everyone's like, yeah, it's like, you want the stuff, and we're like, yeah, give us the stuff, and we've got the stuff, yeah. You have to buy the £80 collector's edition of the shit game that you don't want to get it though. And it's like, it was like, what the fuck? So I'm thinking maybe they've realised, do you know what? Charging people full whack for something that is only a remaster is probably a shitty commercial move. So do you know what? The more I say it, the more I think, okay, this is Activision. They know how to be shitty and commercial, so maybe not. But let's give them the benefit of the doubt, in my perspective, and think, let's just say they are gonna learn from their ways. I mean, they have done with the Battle Pass. That's a better consumer experience, and they're earning more money from it as well. So what if they think, actually, do you know what? Being shit to our customers isn't the best way to earn money. What if they say, okay, we will put the content that people want within the game and not charge them a stupid additional premium. We will either give it them for free, or we'll have it as a cheap add-on, or it comes as part of the Battle Pass or something like that. I think if they do that, having a £7 Battle Pass, Fortnite has shown it, having a £7 add-on gets you more money than charging £40 for a standalone freebie. So maybe that could get them the budget that way. That's what I would like to think they would go.
Yeah,
they would find
for the multiplayer part, absolutely. But the campaign on that is so good. That's the one thing that I play. I mean, as much as I do like playing games online, Modern Warfare sometimes isn't the one because I'm so bad at it. It's frustrating. However, being able to play the Modern Warfare Remastered campaign again now on PS4 would be phenomenal scenes. So that's where my interest is, and that's where I'm worried about how this will fit in. I don't think a £7 add-on is the way that this is going to get released.
Yeah. Do I think that's how it's going to get released? Probably not. Would I like to see that with everything considered right now?
Absolutely, mate.
Yeah.
Scenes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mate,
and
I swear I would change my Twitter banner to everything Activision if they was to release this as a £7 add-on. I'll be Bibby Activision. I will change my header banner and my profile picture to Activision, just if that was ever going to be the case, but it never will be.
Okay. Everyone in the chat, good morning, Owen. BKG says console share £40 each. Good morning, Paul, as well, Paul27TV. My question is, when are we playing as a trio on Warzone, lads? Oh yeah, and thank you very much for the host, dude, much appreciated.
If you want to come last right now.
Yes, that's the thing, that's the downside. I mean I'm all for being your meat shield while Bibby carries all of your ammo in a bag. So you are a one-man machine. I'm happy enough to make that happen. We should do it. With people being at home in isolation, maybe it's a good time to drop something like this. Didn't Xbox show a silly rise in people playing in Xbox Live? They did. But yes, everyone in the chat now, we have witnesses. Bibby's just said that if they drop it as some sort of like £7 cheapy add-on and not a full standalone game thing, he's going to change his not his at, because, you know, someone will take it and he'll never get We've Got Bibby in Your Back. But he's going to change his Twitter name to Bibby Loves Activision for 24 hours. So there we go. Mate,
I'll do it for a week. If the campaign comes out and it's £7 add-on, I will change everything on my profile to Bibby Loves Activision. I'll even make on Paint a banner and I'll change my profile picture as well. I will genuinely, if that is the case, because I am that confident. In fact, I'll do it for a month. That's how confident I am that this will not come out as a £7 add-on.
When we say £7, this is where we get into the terms and conditions now. Are we talking? What if it's like the $7.99 sort of add-on? Are you going to wimp out at that, or are you going to be like, oh?
No, give or take £2 from £7. Give or take £2 either side. If the Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered comes out on the PlayStation 4 as a £7 add-on, give or take £2 either side, I will change my entire profile to Bibby Loves Activision
for a month.
For 1 month.
Someone clip that. We need evidence. We can post this on Twitter. There we go. Less than a tenner, says Paul. Yeah, exactly. Less than a tenner. Boom.
Less than a tenner, it's happening.
Wait, so if it's £4, that doesn't qualify?
No, because that's not give or take £2 either side of £7, is it?
Well, you just said less than a tenner. £4 less than a tenner, so... Ooh.
All right, okay, yeah, all right. We'll extend it. If it's less than a tenner for Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered and the multiplayer maps, less than a tenner, everything's been changed. Simple as that. For 30 days. 30 days.
Oh, it's on. Oh,
it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
This is exciting. Do you know what, Activision? I was hoping you would be just nice people anyway with everything that's happening with coronavirus, but now I need you to be nice people because I want to see this. We'll get some really bad photoshops of like Bibby on Captain Price's shoulders. Just like getting what's that kind of? Is it like a handlebar or whatever with sideburns or chops?
The handlebar moustache.
Yeah. I want him fully decorated. Yes, absolutely. It's got to happen.
Mate. I'll do it on paint, and then we'll get Craig to do a proper one when it inevitably doesn't happen.
No, we need the paint spectacular. We need
easy then. Easy. I can do that. I can knock one of them out in about 3 seconds.
We don't need ice cream uploads. We need like ice cream uploads. So nice. What a way to start the week. Oh, it's all going on. There we go. Let's rejig articles now to be reactive. So let's get rid of the discussing now slate because this was just mentioned in the chat. There we go. Microsoft experienced a 775% surge in cloud demand during a global health pandemic. So this is written by Emily Gera for VG247. The article says Microsoft is experiencing a surge in demand for its cloud services throughout this period of global lockdown due to COVID-19. The tech giant confirmed a 775% increase in regions that have enforced social distancing or shelter-in-place order. With a spike in everything from Xbox Live to digital meeting service Microsoft Teams to Windows Virtual Desktop. And there's a quote in the article that says, in response to health authorities emphasising the importance of social distancing, we've seen usage increases in services that support these scenarios, including Microsoft Teams, Windows Virtual Desktop, and Power BI? Is that? I don't know. Reads a post on the official Microsoft Azure blog. Xbox Live searches are being actively monitoring, services even, are being actively monitoring to ensure we're optimising services for gamers worldwide, the post continues. At the same time, we're taking proactive steps to plan for high usage periods, which includes taking prudent measures with our publishing partners to deliver higher bandwidth activities like game updates during off-peak hours. To streamline moderation and ensure the best experience for our community, we're making small adjustments, adds a statement from Xbox support. We've temporarily turned off the ability to upload custom gamer pics, club pics, and club backgrounds. For now, existing custom Xbox gamer pics will still work, but Microsoft is in the process of lightening the load of its moderation team, having to check new uploads during this period. With more people staying home, amid growing the pandemic lockdown, many online gaming services are feeling the pressure. As reported earlier this month, Steam is experiencing a record-breaking number of users online, and in-game players a new concurrent online user record of 20 million with 6.2 million in-game. So, long story short, shitloads of people are going online. That says a new concurrent of 20 million. I'm pretty sure that got broken by the same again. Didn't it go to 22 million? Like
on Steam, yeah.
Yeah, because that's talking about Steam there. So the new concurrent of 20 million, which was then rebroken again for 22 million. So Steam has had its online concurrent users smashed twice within a month at least. It could have gone up again. And now Microsoft has a 775% surge in demand. So, damn. So now, if that doesn't give you enough inspiration, Activision, obviously, Bibby will change his header. There we go. So
yeah. I mean, I'm definitely part of this problem as well because I set up the Xbox and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate over the weekend so I could finally get round to playing the Outer Worlds, which again, if you are a Fallout New Vegas fan, this is right up your street. From what I've played about 2 hours so far. It's a fantastic game. I'm looking forward to getting more into that. But I also downloaded a lot of other shit from the Game Pass selection, like Viva Pinata, because I remember that being an absolute banger. Farming Simulator, uh, Doom 64, because I got that with Doom Eternal.
I want to stop you right now. There's a thing that I say all the time, and Bibby says I only play shit games, and that's not true. Bibby doesn't only play shit games. Bibby plays some absolute bangers, but what Bibby is open to is playing any shit game. So he's talking about playing like Resident Evil and Call of Duty Modern Warfare and things like that, and then he gets Game Pass Ultimate, and some of the first things he downloads is Viva Pinata. Fucking Viva Pinata. Hardly anyone's ever played that. Never mind re-downloaded it again.
What about Viva Pinata is like one of the goats, mate. If you've never played Viva Pinata, you ain't living. It's an absolute goat game.
And meme central in Farming Simulator. Jeez.
Listen, right. This weekend I've played so much golf club. I need to wind down. You know what I mean? There's a lot of hate in the world at the moment. There's a lot of frustration. And there's nothing better. I can't get out and play golf at the moment. This is my life. I love playing golf at the weekend. I love going out 9 o'clock with the lads and teeing off. Can I do that at the moment? Can of balls. So I'm doing it virtually via the golf club.
I can't get out and smash a stuffed like donkey full of sweets or whatever it is. Oh yeah, take off a little bit of frustration by beating the crap out of a pinata. I bet Bibbs plays Goat Simulator, right?
I actually haven't. I haven't played that one. I mean, I don't play all shit games. But no, Viva Pinata is a great game. So that's readily downloaded. Farming Simulator is ready downloaded. The Outer Worlds, again, finally got around to playing that. Doom 64, I'm very nearly done with that. Played that a lot on Friday. So yeah, it's going. My video gaming experience at the moment is going great. This is what isolation's about for me.
Anyway, do you know what? I won't stick on that article for too long because that's a nice way of tagging that article in. I will jump onto the next one though. Bibby mentioned Doom 64. If you fancy a knock around Fleetwood Golf Course when this is all blown over, let me know.
Is that the one that we drive past?
Yeah.
Every day?
I think
is so. That one?
Actually, or is it? It might not be.
So Paul will know. Yeah, you go and you tell the directions. I'm sure when you go past Skip Pool. Petrol station.
I'm pretty sure it's Amandanis Way. Is it the one that's next to Amandanis Way, which is like the big long? Amandanis Way is the road that checks the petrol station, that joins the petrol station and the roundabout near the vets near us. So that's Amandanis Way. So if it's that one, then that's like minutes away from our studio / office.
Because I've been to the driving range round there a few times. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like 10 minutes away from our gaff. When it was like summer last year, I went like 3 or 4 times. That was really good. You won't drive past it. I don't know what the one is that we drive past then, but that one looks like I'm probably going to take cars out along that road because there's nothing to stop my ball from being laid onto that road, which is a worry. But yes, definitely, I will definitely love to go for a knock around there. I like playing on different courses. I mean, the one that I remember at is Ducky. Duckingfield Golf Club. I love that course so much, but we've got a few round here that are just so hilly, like Werner Flow. I hate that course. It's just you're playing up a hill constantly. So if you fuck it up, the ball's rolling right the way back down again.
That's Polton the File Golf Club. That's what it is.
Okay.
Just off Amanda this way. Yeah, it's not the same one. It's not the same one. God damn it! I mean,
if you want a chiller game and you have Game Pass, get the Golf Club 2 because it's on there. Phenomenal game. Really, really good. But I'm playing 2019 because, I like the new ones.
Oh, it's Polton you drive past. It's on the left-hand side of Manchester. That's the one.
That's it. Yeah, yeah.
So when we come off the motorway, because we're both Manchester way, we go off through... what's it called? I can't remember.
Gastag New Road, is that it?
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember... Esprick, that's it, Esprick. So we come off through Esprick and head up towards Amandanis Way and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, we go that way. So guys, I am loving Hunting Grounds. Fuck, that was something I was going to do. I genuinely wanted to play Predator Hunting Grounds. It was free all weekend. Is it still free now, Rise? Good morning, by the way. Because Predator Hunting Grounds was free across. I don't know if it was across Xbox as well, but I know that I saw all of the PlayStation accounts, even like Australia, UK, global ones, were all tweeting that Predator Hunting Grounds is free this weekend, and it's got like a mode where is it like a Predator versus 4 players or something like that, and you can either be the Predator or you can be one of the 4 players. So I'm guessing the Predator is like OP as Fett kind of thing, and that's why it needs 4 players. I did see some. I've
seen. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
I'm gonna say I did see some people. And I say that it was the likes, I think, of Greg Miller or someone was saying that they were queuing, or they were facing queuing times getting into the game, but that might have been because everyone was trying to be the Predator and nobody wanted to be like the lackey that was getting wrecked by him, kind of thing. Not sure actually, but yeah, it was basically Evolve on Predator. What were you gonna say then, babe? Anyway,
I've seen very mixed reviews on this. A lot of people are saying that it's a really good, solid game, and they can't wait to buy the full one. And a lot of people are just saying it's a glorified PS2 version.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I really don't know which side to lean on at the moment. I mean, I've got it down as a 75 rated game.
It sounds like 100 out of 100 to me, if I'm being fair.
That's what Rise give it, didn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. What did I have it down? I think I went low.
I'm just in threat of being clipped. I'm just about to get it up. 1 second. So, yeah, I give it 75. Your brother, 100.
My brother what? Give it 100.
No, your brother give it 93.
Yeah.
Rise give it 100.
Ah, okay.
Oh, we're doing Doom scores today, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
No, Half-Life. No, sorry, Half-Life Alex.
We were gonna do Doom on Friday, weren't we? That's what we were gonna do, because we're gonna leave it a couple of days. Oh no, it wasn't Doom. It was what else came out last week?
Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal, but we've already done Animal Crossing.
Is that the one? I got one nail on the head, but rather than giving it, we were gonna hold it for a couple of days and come back to it. Or was it Half-Life?
I'm sure it was Half-Life Alex. Yeah.
Okay.
Because they done Doom because Craig won Doom. He banged on with 88, and then with split points between Rise and Asim for Animal Crossing.
Gatekeeper says, Craig says, if you can't beat Arnie, then I'm out. Get to the chopper. I'm not sure. I would assume you can't, just because they'd have had to pay image rights for it again. But maybe that's DLC or something that's coming. But if you want to play as Arnie, then just buy Mortal Kombat. Job's good.
The Terminator in Mortal Kombat looks phenomenal, by the way.
It does.
And you should have cashed it at the correct time.
I don't want to win on technicalities. So it would have only been fair because when we did it the day before, it was when we talked about it last week, we should have left it until Friday or whatever it was, so we missed it. So basically, we'll just give me whatever I had because we probably by leaving it until Monday, we've made it worse. Awesome.
Well, do you want to know what you've got?
Go on then.
Right, so you've got 1 point now. Because it finished on a 93, whereas you had 92, and it was 92 on Friday.
Well, we should have done it on Friday. The issue was we were doing it on Wednesday or something, we were doing it on. I can't remember. We wanted to give it 2 days, so we should have done it on Friday, but we started doing it on either Wednesday or Thursday, and we said we'd leave it until Friday. So I think I'd just get 3 points for that. That's fine.
On a technicality, you can have the free.
Yeah. It's a very good game, but there needs to be additions to the hunters, and they need to be more rewarded for not being rinsed by the Predator. I'm intrigued to know how it plays out. I'll have to do a little bit of a Google or something and see if someone's done like some sort of like 5-minute review of what it is. Magic Man says, morning! Good morning, Madge.
Morning, Madge.
Guns Good Taco. Hello. What do you think about Stone Mountain 64's group pipeline targeting new streamers with a subscription service asking for money during the pandemic?
I don't even know who that is.
Stone Mountain 64. I actually quite like Stone Mountain 64. He's like an FPS streamer. So he plays things like Battlefield, PUBGs, CODs, and things like that. I know him from Battlefield videos, I think it was, initially. So he's quite a big Facebook content creator, streamer. And you may have seen videos where he goes like into full-on over-the-top like soldier mode. So you jump into an Xbox Live party kind of thing. He's like, hey guys, are we gonna And we got what we do, and he'll just go, let's go, take objective B, private, and he's like full on like full metal jacket down the headset, go, take the left flag, and then people are like, fucking hell, man, chill the fuck out, dude, and he's like over the top, but it's really funny, some of the videos and stuff that he does. So I quite like his content, but his group pipeline are targeting new streamers. So he's asking streamers for a subscription service. What are they paying for? Because I literally haven't even heard of this. So that'd be interesting.
I've never heard of any of this. This is all just noise. Pipeline and mountains made of stone.
They sent out emails that are basic market emails that are no different to the ones they have sent out in January. They sent me, but the subscription is like $34 a month or £330 a year, and the service is supposed to be a network in Discord. So they're paying for a streamer network, as in you pay money as a streamer to be part of that network. Without knowing all the details, my instant thoughts are, don't do it. That's not good for me. I mean, the timing isn't great sending out during a pandemic because everyone is streaming now because everyone's got hours left. Some people are doing it thinking it's a viable way of surviving, which it could be. But in all seriousness, as a streamer, you need a very, very large dose of luck to make it to the point where you can survive off stuff. There's two ways: grind and luck, and neither of them are guaranteed success. You can grind daily, making the best content, and it could just get missed, or you could make one piece of content that's half decent and it be successful. But that could launch a career. It could just be a flash in the pan. You never know. Anyway. Yes, having a network and being able to network with other streamers, particularly people that have size, is good in terms of that will help you grow your channel a little bit faster, but it's not the be all and end all. I would never say pay into something like that. It sounds like an instant delete email. Yeah.
Sounds like that. You remember when Jake Paul did this for his YouTube, how to become a YouTube sensation, and he had to pay for a masterclass on how to become a YouTube sensation.
Yeah.
Delete it all.
They give a QA session if you do the yearly subscription, which is what they want to sell. But in the QA, you're in a room of hundreds of people where it's not even on a one-on-one session. And that's the thing. Someone surely will be screen capturing that and sharing it anyway. So it's not for me. It's not for me. I mean, if there's such a need for it, not that we're massive in terms of our channel, but what we do in the games industry behind it, it's very, very much common sense. It very much is. If you want to be a successful streamer, stream regularly. If you want to be a successful streamer, have thought through content. If you want your content to be more successful than anyone else's, think of something unique and bigger and take it further. And all of that, like I say, it's common sense. It's not necessarily the easiest thing to do, but that you'd be better off spending your 34 quid on yourself and then working on your own content rather than trying to get someone else to make you big by giving you ideas and stuff. Find it very bad that they're targeting people during the pandemic. It's probably not that they're targeting during the pandemic. It's probably that they've got the time now to deploy this because of everything else that's happened. Let's say Stone Mountain works with Battlefield, and Battlefield have delayed some stuff because of the pandemic, and Stone Mountain's time's now been freed up. Maybe he's put more time. It could just be timing like that. But yeah, I agree. It's not. It's not good for me. Also, that Predator beta was garbage, in my opinion. Rise, I'm disgusted you even uttered those words.
Morning Precision.
This isn't new. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't necessarily need to be new. I'm just meaning, so it could be that. It could be something they've had going, and this is just the rollout time. But yeah, the timing, they're probably not targeting it. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I know nothing about it. So you make your own assumptions of that, but based on the very limited information I know, I'd say someone like Stone Mountain 64 is risking a lot by targeting people in this point in time. People don't forget, so it's probably poor decisions as opposed to extremely poor decisions. It's probably not thought through as opposed to fully thought through and malicious in that sort of sense. But then again, I don't have all the information, so I don't know. But yes, don't spend 40 quid or whatever it is, 30 quid, or 330 a year on a service that's going to make you a better streamer. Spend your own time, and that's the
watching us for free.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what? Let's make our own little content series. We could do that. I could share pictures of emails I sent. One from Jan that says it's Stone Mountain 64, but it's really an automated email. Sorry, but no better, only worse than the last single player Predator game, says Magic Man. And the most recent one from yesterday. It's fine. We don't need to see the screens and everything. We'll just leave it there. Some people will find it useful, and it probably is useful. I personally wouldn't recommend that for anywhere. However, we are launching our own subscription service, and if you use the donation service on this channel and just donate 700 of your finest pounds to our channel, myself and Babinho will show you what it's like to make it rain, baby. But no, let's move ahead. We have a few more stories to run through, and we have touched on the word Doom a few times on this stream, although it was Doom 64. But that tees up nicely into our next little bit of news, which is you can see what Doom Eternal looks like running in third person, thanks to Cheat Engine, and now it's Doom External.
Nice. I didn't even see that first time around. I love that.
I'll click play on the video, which has got the loudest noise in the world. Nice. That looks.
What do you think?
It looks a completely different game.
I know. It doesn't look beautiful. It looks like the first month of Xbox 360 coming out. That's what it looks like.
It's Hurler, not Halo, but Hurler.
It doesn't look great, does it?
So whilst that,
I mean, it'd be awesome to try and play it, but it doesn't look great graphically.
You can tell like his arm's not fully attached. Oh, what is it? No, it's not even his arm. He's got something floating over his back. Is that supposed to be floating?
And I think that's the camera.
But you can
Do you
tell
know when you're playing first person?
Yeah. Well, you can tell that it's not meant to look like this, can't you? It's just not as smooth as the rest of the game. Anyway, but let's. So the fearless cheat engine community have been tinkering with Doom Eternal, enabling console commands that result in discoveries like the pistol, a weapon that was removed from the finished game. They've also got a rudimentary third-person view working, as you can see. And since Doom Eternal has a multiplayer battle mode complete with demons, it makes sense that all the ripping and tearing of the glory kill animations would be modelled, but it's still odd to see them from behind. Of course, this isn't something players are intended to use, and the camera's not where you'd put it in a third-person shooter, but it's obviously playable and a fun option for those who prefer third-person views. It's not quite the third-person survival horror game Puppet Combo imagined, but it's still pretty neat. And then embedded in the article is a tweet from Dave Oshry, and it says, "The boys got Doom Eternal working in third-person. Let me hit play. I'll try not to deafen you. And I'm deafening you. Okay, Twitter video is Twitter video, and it looks dog shit. So yes, there you go. If you want to play Doom Eternal but play it as Doom External, GG's on the cheat, Jody Macgregor for PC Gamer, then there you go. You can download I'm guessing it's going to be a mod from the Fearless Cheat Engine.
Yeah. To be fair, it does look a lot. Like, I never thought I'd say this, but that looks like a more chaotic Doom, because Doom is known for how chaotic it is with it just being like a bullet hell kind of game, fast paced, gore, the lot. It doesn't look as gory, obviously, because you're not seeing the blood just pouring all over you when you're ripping things apart. But do you know what? I would actually try and like to play this as a third person game. Right, I'm going to mention a game here now, and chances are nobody in the chat would have ever played it. But did anybody ever play a game called Apocalypse with Bruce Willis on the PlayStation 1?
No.
It was a brilliant game, to be fair. I mean, coming from me, take that with a pinch of salt, but I really enjoyed that game, and that's what this looks like.
Apocalypse PS1. Let me see.
It had Bruce Willis' character model in the game, and it had a load of his catchphrases. But it was like a platformer, but it was third person, so you just run in certain directions while avoiding stuff and shooting people as you go along. Have you got it up on the screen?
I'm trying to, but 10 million YouTube adverts later.
Oh, okay.
Okay. This is Apocalypse, which looks like a Twitter video.
That's the one. Yes. What a game. What a game.
We've already mentioned it on the stream, but Baby plays shit games. Shocker. Oh, no. Although this says PS1 underrated gem, Apocalypse. And
it is.
The YouTube channel is We've Got Bibinho.
Oh god, I'd love to be able to pick that one up again. It was a good game. Like, I remember playing so much of that. But if you've never played it, then you're probably not missing out on anything. But I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Do you know what? coming back to the...
It probably does. It probably does need to be left in the 90s. To be fair.
Yeah, it's not something that's aged that well, but it does look like this. I see exactly what you're saying in terms of that. I mean, the low camera angle is a bit bizarre because it's supposed to be third person. You're supposed to be looking over the shoulder rather than at the ass, because that's what kind of Doom's camera angle looks like on this. However, I completely agree with the fact that it just doesn't look as good. Doom looks class. Doom Eternal, that is. So there's no need for Doom External. The thing that does kind of... he does play shit games. I mean, have you seen Radical Heights?
Right, ban him. Can we time him out? I'm a mod, aren't I?
No, that's fine. No.
Oh my god! This dashboard, if you right click on someone, you can actually... It's like a sliding bar of how long you want to be able to time someone out for.
I'm not listening to you. I've just got the Radical Heights theme tune playing. Okay, stop that.
Banger.
Yeah, you can different timeouts. So you can insta ban, or you can time out. Like if there's a 10-second timeout or whatever, 6-second, whatever it is, which basically just removes all of their messages previously in chat and then almost lets them back in straight away. That's kind of like a no, stop that, dickhead.
No, I mean it's like a volumizer. Have you seen it?
On what?
On the content dashboard on Twitch. Is that what you've got up?
Yes.
Right click on someone's name, and then it's like a slider. So you can either slide all the way to the top to say ban, purge, or delete. I've never seen that before. That's sick.
Oh yeah, I've not seen that either. I usually just left click and then go to the 1 second, 10 minutes, 1 hour, whatever kind of thing.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Ban him for 12 days.
No, nobody bans OP3. To be fair, I love watching Radical Heights because Bibby was well into it, and Madge says I like Bibby.
I was. Best BR ever.
He says with his knit comb.
It's a beard comb. Oh, it even says on it barbershop. It's a bib comb.
Barbers have knits too, babe. We know what it is. It's fine. Barbers know all about knits. They do with hair. Anyway,
I'll tell you what though, I had my beard growing for that long that I started to get a bit of dandruff, a bit of flaky skin underneath.
I had to get
I trimmed it last night.
All mine yesterday. My beard was like a proper man growth yesterday, and I just like no, let's get rid of that because I have no issues growing facial hair. It grows too well, in fact, that I could leave it a couple of days and I just look like I'm full on ZZ topping. So yesterday I had to get rid of it, trim it all the way back. So yeah, now just back to my normal growth. Job's good.
On the next episode of male grooming,
knit comb or beard comb. We just show a bunch of images on screen. You have to vote in chat. 1 for beard comb, 2 for knit comb. Let's go.
Oh god.
Anyway, let's jump back up through the chat. Yeah, the yearly subscription is the same as buying a Go XLR Minute and a pod mic, which is what I did. Good shout, Guntaku. Absolutely, that's the way you want to go. Don't spend your money on get rich quick schemes. Help one person get rich quick usually, and that's the person deploying it, not you paying for it. So yeah, if you're spending money to get rich quick, then you're doing the exact opposite of what you want to do. Just keep that in mind. Yeah, the guy's knocking about the depths of hell with a GoPro. Exactly, that's what it looks like. He's got a floating GoPro on his shoulder in the Doom Eternal thing. I've gone through these ones. By far, one of my most played games has to be the OG Turok. That was a good game, to be fair. Two says Precision. It's a Nidcomb. I don't know. I can't remember which order I said it in, to be fair. So I'm just going to assume I said it. Get sponsorship from Manscaped.
I would love to be sponsored by Manscaped purely because I wouldn't have to buy anything then. They would then ship it to me. I would have to say, yes, this is really good. And then you'd like get a discount on it. And everybody's a winner then.
Everyone's a winner, baby. That's the truth. Maybe we should then. Maybe we'll... Do you know what? While I read this article, I'll bring this next one on full screen and then you can start the email to Manscaped.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, nice tedious link there as we jump in to an article for PC Gamer written by Andy Chalk, and it says Fallout 76 Wastelanders update is delayed, and Slack's just come back to life as I'm getting notifications now. Let me kill that. Snooze notifications. Pop, There we go. So Bethesda is working from home because of the coronavirus outbreak, and that slowed the final testing for the Fallout 76 Wastelanders update, which has been delayed. So the article now says, last week, Fallout 76 players began stockpiling toilet paper and a music mimicry of the baffling real-world response to the early days of the coronavirus outbreak. Today, however, the impact of the outbreak was felt in a less humorous fashion, as Bethesda announced that the launch of the Fallout 76 Wastelanders update will be delayed by a week. Bethesda said on Twitter that its employees, like many of the other studios, are now working from home to help prevent the spread of the virus. Its live games continue to operate as normal, but the change has curtailed its ability to do proper final testing, and as a result, it's been pushed from April 7th to April the 14th. There is an embedded tweet there which has the full statement. I won't read that out for now because it's just a lot of text, but I think we can assume what they're roughly saying there. But the Wastelanders update is a big one. It will add human NPCs and quests to the game, revamp the original main quest, bring in new factions and locations, add unique companions with romance options, incorporate a Fallout 3 style dialogue system, and more. Overall, the update will make the multiplayer-focused Fallout 76 much more like a conventional single-player Fallout game, something a lot of the fans have been clamouring for. It was originally slated to be out in late 2019, but was pushed into 2020 in October of that year. We've done everything we can. We've done everything we can do to minimise the delay, and we can't wait for everyone to play. A special thanks to all our private test server players for all your help, Bethesda said. We know this is a stressful time, and we can't thank you enough for all the support you've given each other and us.
Well, I think this is about time that I go and pick this game up for about £7.49, and then we'll be able to get into this, because this is what I've been waiting for. I don't want to play a Fallout game where the world is bland, because the immersion, it just isn't. Obviously, it's not there because you're playing a game that has no immersion in there, and that's not what a Fallout game is to me. Ask anybody that plays a Fallout game, the whole point of playing it is the world that you're in. And if the world is bland and there's nothing to do, and you're relying on other real world players to be able to do anything in that game, your game is not going to last very long. Now, it's amazing that they're being able to turn the tide on this by adding stuff like this that we wanted for such a long time. Yeah, it's a very good move. Now, if we have to wait a little bit longer, I mean, it says that it should be around the 7th to the 14th of April, around that time. That's cool.
Like,
we can wait
from the 7th to the 14th, so it's been delayed.
Yeah, a week. That's nothing, is it? It's nothing.
Do you know?
We're meant to be in isolation for the next 6 months, so who cares?
I'm happy enough with that. Jumping in the chat, Fatman Dale says Bethesda test games. Now that's news. Do you know what? If you'd have asked me in October last year, and you could probably go back and check our streams from October last year, because we covered this initial delay that they referenced from October. We covered that live on the Scoop, and we essentially pulled them apart. We were saying Bethesda had what was it that was buggy as hell? Well, it was Fallout, wasn't it?
It was 76. Yeah, it was 76.
So Fallout was buggy. It didn't have anything that anybody wanted, and then they got Doom delayed. So that's what I think. Doom was delayed, and then about a week after, they delayed the Fallout 76 update, and then they added the private world stuff. Ian2KTV, good morning, sir.
Morning, pal.
How are you doing? Good.
I think the only thing that they've managed to stay on top of is the Elder Scrolls Online. That's the only thing that, far as I'm aware, they've never delayed anything with. I say never. I mean, in like the last 12 months, in regards to everything else that's been delayed from their side of things, ESO is the only thing that hasn't been delayed.
Well, after Fallout coming out, and then I was even sat in the Bethesda E3 conference where they announced Wastelanders, and then obviously that was then delayed. At that point in time, I'm thinking, you've ruined it. You knew you ruined it, and you've then tried to fix it, and then that's been delayed, and things like that. So in October last year, Bethesda's stock wasn't held very highly in my regards, and I was open and honest, just like Bibby was. We kind of basically took the piss out of it, essentially. But then you fast forward now to a week where you've just seen what many journalists are calling the FPS of the generation. It's hard to make an FPS that pushes the envelope, or even forget pushing the envelope. It's hard these days to make an FPS game that gets higher than a 7 out of 10. However, Bethesda have just released Doom last week, and that has got 9s and 10s from many outlets. The game plays well offline and online. This is all. I mean, I got the game. I've got the helmet. You've seen the helmet. I haven't played the game, so I'm not judging from my own comments. I'm judging from Metacritic-esque sort of review. But it is playing very well and has won hearts. It's won minds. They've marketed it well in terms of they've got good trailers. They've had merchandise. They've allowed it to be accessible. So they've kind of learned in that sense. And then obviously we're about to get the Wastelanders update, which fixes a lot of issues. The fact that they've delayed it by a week, despite everything that's happening with coronavirus. I mean, it's easy to say you've delayed it again, but I mean, we as Jelly Media, stepping away from ice cream for a minute, are having to deal with a lot of things in terms of still working remotely. So for them to only lose a week is actually it's fair play in my sense. I'll give them that.
You could technically say a week was how long it taken them to all move their stuff from their workplace to home to get the infrastructure sorted. A week is nothing in the grand scheme of things when games have been delayed 3 or 4 months already.
It just works. Meme of 2019. Is that okay? I don't actually know that meme. I'm gonna Google it. Is that a Fallout meme? There we go.
That's a good yawn.
Okay. I'm not. It's like gonna take me down a rabbit hole to find out the meaning of the meme. But I'm assuming that was a developer sort of comment or something like that. Did you ever watch Internet Historian's Fall of 76 video? No. Doom Eternal with its DRM missing at launch. Yeah, but I got a helmet. That's all that matters, dude. No. Yeah. Losing a week on something that is so big, I don't mind that. And I think that's the thing. There is they've had their the negativity that was rightfully pushed on them for announcing for releasing a game that was not what people wanted. That completely. I mean, Fallout 76 community was one of the most positive places you could be, and then having Fallout 76 launch, seeing the Fallout community turn extremely negative because the game directors have completely lost touch with what the people in the community wanted. Then announcing the Wastelanders update and then delaying it whilst launching Private Worlds and so on. Yes, they have messed up quite a few times, but where was it? There we go. The Wastelanders update will add human NPCs and quests to the game, revamp the original main quest, bring in new factions, new locations, add unique companions with romance options. I'll add that as another point as well. Incorporate a Fallout 3 style dialogue system, and then more. So there's, let's say more is at least 2 things. That's 10 different things in terms of not just like a small in-game cosmetic. That's 10 different features. That's basically changing the entire game. I think if it takes you an extra week to make sure it's out and perfect, because that could be bug city, and it probably, even with the delay of a week, I would be surprised if there's that many changes added to the game. I would be surprised if there isn't any bugs when it launches. So I think that's something that people should probably still be ready to expect, because that's changing the entire game. That's like giving you a disc with 1% of the final product on it, and then having to download.
Hello, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5.
I doubt Bethesda lost much money with that mistake. Most of the sales are from console users. It's Todd's Bethesda 2019 keynote speech prior to launch of 76. Nothing but lies. God damn it. Yeah, see, maybe 2018. Yeah, it would have been 2018, because 2019's speech. Was it E3 speech? If it was an E3 speech, I was in the E3 2019 one, and the 2019 E3 was the one where they were kind of like, we done fucked up, but we gonna fix this for you. So yeah, it was probably the 2018 one, I'd imagine. So yeah, I mean, it's easy for me to say this. I'm not a Fallout guy. I haven't played any Fallout games at all. I've seen my mate play hours of one of the early ones, but it's probably a game that you need to like be fully embedded into, not watching someone play some hours of it. So and it never really resonated with me, so I can't say. But from my perspective, as someone from the outside looking in, if Doom from a gameplay perspective was nailed on, then that's a very, very good sign. The fact that they delayed things, they delayed both things. They delayed Doom, they delayed the Wastelanders update to make sure it works. I would say that's got to be a good sign after what we've just had. We'll know on 14th of April anyway whether it's going to be decent or not. What do you reckon, Bib? Do you reckon it's going to be flawless, or do you reckon it's going to be flawed?
I reckon it is going to have bugs when it originally drops. But I mean, this is another step in the right direction, so I'll give them the credit for that. They're still looking after the game.
Yeah. That's probably a charged question, that, asking whether it's going to be flawless or flawed. I mean, all games are flawed. Nothing is ever perfect. Nothing is ever flawless. But do we think it's going to work and do really well, or do we think it's going to be buggy as shit? I think I would be surprised if it's buggy as shit. I would be surprised if we don't see a lot of the community going, do you know what? Fair play. You've done well. I would be surprised if we don't see that. And hopefully that's the way it goes, because what we need right now is people getting games that are good, and game companies doing good and being rewarded for it as well. So if it works and everyone's happy with it, then jobs are good, and hopefully that's what we get. That's what we need right now. That's what the world needs. But anyway, one more bit of news before we disappear, and something we've spoken about a few times previously. The last couple of times, admittedly, when we spoke about this topic, it went a little bit negative from such a high praising start. But this seems like maybe it's potentially going back in the right track again. So Nvidia adds Control to GeForce Now and promises new games every week. This is written by Nick Statt at The Verge, and the tagline says, a bit of good news for the controversial cloud gaming platform. Nvidia says its GeForce Now cloud gaming service will start getting new games every Thursday, starting with Remedy Entertainment's sci-fi action title Control. The announcement is a bit of good news for the controversial platform, which has seen high-profile game publishers like Activision Blizzard, Bethesda Softworks, and 2K Games pull their entire libraries since it exited beta in early February. Part of the deal means Control can also be played on GeForce Now using Nvidia's RTX cards, which enable ray tracing effects for more realistic visuals. It's not entirely clear how Nvidia secured Control, but it may have something to do with Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney, who has publicly expressed support for the platform. Epic is wholeheartedly supporting Nvidia's GeForce Now service with Fortnite and with Epic Games store titles that choose to participate, including exclusives, and we'll be improving the integration over time, Sweeney tweeted earlier this month. Missed that tweet. I genuinely missed that. That's a pretty big statement. Control is currently an Epic Games Store exclusive on PC, and Epic also just secured the rights to future titles by Remedy Entertainment under its new publishing label. So it's safe to say Epic, Remedy, and Nvidia are all on good terms with regards to GeForce Now. The same cannot be said of other publishers which seemingly pulled titles from the platform because they did not appreciate Nvidia including them without express permission and under all the terms. Once Nvidia began charging £5 for the public trial of GeForce Now in February, it became clear that a number of big publishers weren't informed. It's not clear why publishers dislike the service. None of the bigger companies that have pulled titles have spoken up about it, but smaller indie developer Raphael van Leerop of Hinterland Studios said he disliked Nvidia including his game without his permission and worried the service might complicate exclusivity deals or ports to other platforms. Bigger publishers may simply not like a service that doesn't charge separately for cloud gaming versions of titles like Google Stadia does. But GeForce Now, in letting players access existing purchases through Valve Steam on any device, has presented some unprecedented licensing and legality issues the gaming industry hasn't hammered out yet. It's uncharted territory, and it's clear Nvidia may have to either offer some sort of revenue cut or pay a licensing fee to publishers if it wants to use their titles. So far, the company has amicably agreed to remove all the games at the request of the owners, and it released a blog post earlier this month saying it expects these game removals to be few and far between. Starting this week, we're aligning most releases to Thursdays. This way, our members know when to look for library updates. GeForce Now will continue releasing new and recent game launches as close to their availability as possible, writes Andrew Clear, the senior product manager for GeForce Now, in a blog post. Nvidia says, in addition to Control, it's also adding Armour 2, Operation Arrowhead, I don't know how to say that one, Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc, Dungeons 3, Head Snatchers, IL-2 Sturmovik, Battle of the Stalingrad, Jagged Alliance 2, Wildfire, and The Guild 3. They just added those in, so we had some difficult words at the end. GG guys, this is what he's saying there.
Armour 2's a banger, by the way.
Do you know what's a banger for me? There is the Epic bit in the middle. Mm-hmm. One thing that Epic is doing very, very well is being very pro-consumer. It's not necessarily pro. industry and a lot of the industry, particularly smaller developers, I know don't like Epic's way of like pushing the exclusivity and trying to fight the way into it. But Epic are so far, and at least still seemingly outwards, are trying to be very pro-consumer. Yes, it favours their interest. Yes, it creates their store. Yes, it will give them something that will build, that allows them to build going forward. But Epic are trying to be pro-consumer, and them getting behind Nvidia GeForce Now could be a huge bit of news that Nvidia have been waiting for.
Yeah, I mean, the likes of having Fortnite on this as well. I mean, you could pretty much play Fortnite and everything, but I think it's still the world's #1 most played game. So it's something that Google Stadia doesn't have at the moment. It doesn't have any Battle Royale games, does it?
Well, GeForce Now has games, and that's something that Stadia doesn't have at the moment.
Yikes.
GeForce Now takes control. That's my discussing now title. So,
nice.
So yeah, the issues are. I mean, for those of you that don't know what GeForce Now is Nvidia's attempt at cloud gaming. If you've got a PC, like I have, that's pretty decent. Yeah, mine is. Does it have an RTX ready graphics card? No, it doesn't. However, you can play through GeForce Now, which gives you access to RTX ready games, and I believe the ray tracing elements are they not like rendered by the graphics card at their end, so you can play RTX ready games using a non-RTX ready system. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, please feel free to correct me, but that's the way that I interpreted it when we first read about it forever ago. But you aren't buying these games through GeForce Now. You buy it on Steam. You buy it on the Epic Store, and then you load those stores essentially into your GeForce Now account and then spit them out that way. So you're playing the games that you own that you've already paid for elsewhere. So publishers effectively aren't being duped. You've paid for the game normally, as you would, and you are playing the game on your PC normally, as you would. You are just playing through a different system. And then you leave the house. Rather than buying it again on your mobile or your tablet or your laptop, you're then rendering it through your laptop and playing it that way. But obviously publishers don't like that. I reckon there's two reasons for it. One of them, which was the independent guy in there, says, this is my content, this is my title, and you've essentially put it onto a device that you control that isn't sanctioned by me, and you are taking essentially my stuff and doing what you want with it, which isn't right. I get that. I completely get that. They have fucked up by just stepping out of beta into the full launch and assuming everyone will be happy with it. They have. That is a massive ball to drop. And that is why Activision, Bethesda, and 2K have all dropped away from it. Or so it seems. I reckon that's why the people like... what was his name? Raphael von Lierop of Hinterland Studio. So Hinterland Studio have dropped out because people are taking their hard-earned... so they've put a lot of work into their products, and someone's taking it and using it how they want without their permission. When you're a small studio, that's a big thing, so I completely understand that. I don't reckon that's what's happening with Activision, Blizzard, Bethesda, and 2K, though. They're probably going, well, you're charging £5 for this service to access my game? Well, I want at least half of that, mate. Come on, it's my game. Yeah. So
you can understand it from their perspectives as well. Like the ball would firmly be in Nvidia's court if they just got as soon as it was about to release it, just to say, look, this is going live soon. We've still got your games in the marketplace. Would you like to continue with this? Yes or no? And then they could have started to negotiate. They could have started to negotiate if they just pulled them away and they didn't launch with 2K's games. But then 2 weeks down the line, very much like Nintendo have recently just had with 2K, where 2K have gone, right, we're partnering with Nintendo to bring these 7 massive games that you know and love to the console. They could have had an announcement like that, but instead they've just gone along with it and just hoped that either they wouldn't expect, they wouldn't say anything, or they didn't know that it was still happening, kind of thing. So, they could. All it needed was just a heads up.
Yeah,
and they didn't do that.
I agree, and that was a huge ball to drop. And I reckon, I mean, maybe they didn't give the heads up because they expected publishers to go, okay, well, if you're starting to talk money, we want some of it then. And they're probably thinking, well, we've got nothing in place that defines how we share that revenue. I mean, at the moment, we're spending £5 to keep our servers online. I mean, how much do we give you for your game? Do we give you, every time someone loads it up, do we give you pounds per minute? And it might be like 0.01 pounds per minute played, and if you play or whatever. But then when you add that to everyone playing Control, and you suddenly get £20 per person or whatever. So yeah, I mean, there definitely is stuff in there that probably will change over time, but the fact that Epic is behind it. So the tweets from Tim Sweeney says Epic is wholeheartedly supporting Nvidia's GeForce Now service with Fortnite and Epic Game Store titles that choose to participate, including exclusives, and will be improving the integration over time. I mean, Epic is doing right in terms of, it's doing right for you as a consumer. Forget everything else. You as a consumer that plays games, if you have the Epic Store, you will get free games. What was it we got free last week?
Watch Dogs.
So yeah, there you go. Watch Dogs. If you never played Ubisoft's Watch Dogs, there you go. Just make an Epic account, download the Epic launcher, and there you go. Free game. You can play it, launch it, job's good, and that's it. That's it. There's nothing else to do. Epic have given you the free game. That's because they have time, and they have money, and they have resources, and they're propped up by Fortnite, so they can start to do all these things that are allowing them to break out from underneath Steam, create their own little movement. And by doing that with things that allow you to play games and stuff on the go, that is very pro-consumer. That's what Microsoft are doing in the console world in terms of getting out from under PlayStation. Obviously, I'm not saying one's better than the other, but I'm just talking in terms of obvious success. PlayStation has sold more. They are the ones that are the big one. They're the one casting the big shadow. Microsoft have gone, okay, well, we can stay under this and be okay on our own, or we can step out with, we'll have xCloud, we will have Game Pass Ultimate, we'll do all these things to make it all wonderful, and Microsoft are doing that, and that is kind of where Fortnite's guys, Epic, should I say, are coming, by giving you games, by giving you a different opportunity to play through a different system, by giving you the ability to play on the go using GeForce Now, it's definitely a big movement, and it's no doubt a big win for Nvidia. I mean, what's the best message in the world if you are trying to launch a new system? If you've got the biggest and best played, probably one of the most profitable games of all time sat behind it, forget Epic. If the kids see, the guys that make Fortnite think GeForce Now's cool, then, well, you've got a shoe in there, surely. So,
well, don't forget that if you are on the Epic Store and you've got an account on there, that World War Z is free until Thursday. So that's another game that they're giving away for free.
Nice, yeah, there we go. So yeah, go do it. And Madge says, I've never tried a streaming game service. Well, we're not even on commission from GeForce Now, but it's free. You can spend £5 a month or whatever it is, and that gives you priority access. You are guaranteed to get in a game, and you can stay in it for as long as you want. However, the free accounts, all you have to do is wait for a space to open up, and I think you get to play for an hour, and then you refresh again. And if there's spaces at the end of the hour, you can just go on again, and then again, and then again. If there's a bit of a queue, then you have to wait until, essentially like taking a ticket in a queue somewhere. You wait until your space is open again. So it's free if you want to give that a try. And if you do, please feel free to let us know in the chat, because I haven't tried it myself. I'm talking entirely based on the information that we are sharing with you guys live on the Scoop. So if you do try it, let us know. I used Steam for the first time in months. Finding titles to buy was such a chore. Yeah, that's becoming ever present. There's an ongoing discussion about finding new content within Steam. It used to be very, very much something that was freely accessible, but as with anything, success and profit eventually overtails. I mean, everyone who enjoyed using Facebook a million years ago used to have a news feed or timeline. You now have a news feed. That's because it's easier to advertise and stuff and give you the content that they see is best. Same thing with marketplaces. You used to see the new stuff or whatever. Now you see the stuff that people have put money behind, and there's motives behind the things that you see, and not always in your best interest. So yeah. That's consumerism. There you go. Anyway, that was a bit deep. I heard you typing away there, but was that work-related stuff, or were you about to drop a knowledge bomb on us?
Oh no, there was no knowledge bombs. I'll tell you after this. It's nothing to do with this.
Well, there we go. Clearly we're boring Bib, so we might as well disappear. I see how it is, Bib. I see. 1 hour
Wrap it up,
slices.
baby.
Yeah, exactly. 1 hour. Nice bit of lunchtime content. So there you go. You're not even at your PC. You sat with your laptop or your iPad or whatever on your knee, having a lunch break because you sat on the couch watching Loose Women or whatever, whilst it's your midday lunch break at home, struggling with COVID-19. Just load up GeForce Now. Have a play the game. Let us know how it feels. Anyway, let's leave it there. So this has been The Scoop. We've been live since around 10 a.m.-ish on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. Obviously, we are going to change this into a YouTube video, and we will change it into audio podcasts, all the links of which will be available to find on our social media, which you can find the links in the chat, thanks to the legend, the man that is number one pirate, hitting exclamation mark socials in the chat. That gives you the links to all our socials. It's just Ice Cream Uploads across the board, but the links are there if you can't even bother typing it. GG, do it. But we are going to disappear. Yeah, before we do though, anything you want to add, babe?
Yeah. If you do see anything around the video game hemisphere that you want to add your opinion on, and you want to hear our opinion on, feel free to tag myself at We've Got Rubinho, at Graham_Day, and at Ice Cream Uploads. We'll take your thoughts and impressions, add our thoughts and impressions, and give it to you in the very next show, which is tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Yeah. Okay. Well, before we disappear though, one thing we are going to do is on Friday we got a stupidly large raid from Phantom. Phantom joined us with like 117 people, I think it was. Obviously, we don't have 117 people in here because Phantom's a little bit bigger than we are. But we would very much appreciate if you guys stick around after we end the show. And we're going to send you all over to Phantom's chat now there. So feel free to say good morning, say I see you raid, and all of the jazz there. Please feel free to do that, as we'll send you over once we go offline. What are you going to say?
When I said it wasn't work related, that's exactly what I was doing. I was getting his URL to be able to raid at the end of it.
Okay, I've already got that on the screen, so there we go. But Arms of Atlas says, "Where is my prizes from the ICU?" Sun's crying. Oh, but you know what? We had them, but Bib, you know what he's like.
I had them.
Yeah.
No, mate, they were sent weeks ago. I don't know if they've been held up somewhere or what, but everybody's prizes. I've got pictures on my phone as well to show that there was all lined up and ready to go. So they've all been sent. But if you haven't got it, when we are eventually allowed back into the building again, I'll potentially be able to try and hook you up again. But as it stands, everything was already gone. So if you haven't got it now, then it's either held up somewhere or it's gone missing.
Yeah, we'll send you some stuff just in time for PES 2029 or whatever it's by the time you get back into the work. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, have yourselves a lovely day. Like I say, please feel free to jump across in the raid. That would be very much appreciated for us and from Phantom, no doubt. But yeah, until next time, what have they got to do, babe? What is it?
They have got to, including the emoji, if you have it, stay frosty.
Yeah, there we go. See you in the chat, yes. Okay, stay frosty. Bye.